actually doing really good. I'm enjoying my time off of YouTube, actually.
Really?
Basically, I can just do my content and then not have the stress of all the toxicity that comes with Black YouTube.
Stop the cap.
I do feel like I was targeted, and I might as well, since the woman who wrote the article has already been identified. But I do think it's racist for her to be weaponizing that ability, the media, to try and silence a Black woman because of her opinion on Black males in her community.
Many of us are in love with people who have comeback stories, and we love it, especially with athletes and entertainers. If we look at boxing, Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali took 3 years off the sport and came back and became heavyweight champion once again. Michael Vick went to prison for some time and came back and became the highest NFL player with the Philadelphia Eagles. And in basketball, Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan retired and came back for a second career, which many of us found very entertaining. And I would say all 5 of these people that I mentioned added a lot of value in their respective sport. But on YouTube, it's very rare to see somebody get a second chance, especially when that YouTuber has been banned because of community guidelines violations. But that doesn't stop Cynthia G, who's been banned not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4. But oh, the 4th time seems to be a nail in a coffin. She seems to have been put in the YouTube graveyard. But Cynthia G wants to make a 4th comeback to the platform. But there is just one issue. Cynthia G is still unaware of her problems that she had on the platform. Instead of being aware of what she's done, again, she's blaming others. People who had nothing to do with the hate speech and vile videos that she uploaded onto this very platform. But I want to talk about this from a very interesting perspective, because Cynthia G came to Storm Monroe and tried to plead her case in a very unsuccessful manner. But I want to talk about 3 points that Cynthia G is going to try to make in her plea to come back to YouTube. And the first plea she's going to make is, she doesn't really care about being on YouTube anymore. Life is so much better. But she's going to say that she has been targeted, and that is the reason why she's off the platform. Let's check it out.
I'm actually doing really good. I'm enjoying my time off of YouTube, actually.
Really?
I actually prefer the exclusivity of Patreon.
Okay.
I like that it's not trolling. I like that, it's like a filter through people coming and stealing your content and making videos based on your content, because in order to access the content, you have to pay. So It's behind a paywall. So it really filters out a lot. Basically, I can just do my content and then not have the stress of all the toxicity that comes with Black YouTube.
And being out in the public. You know what you that's a very good point. For those of you guys that do not know, Cynthia G, YouTube channel was terminated. I feel like she was targeted. I don't know if Cynthia wants to get into that or not.
I do feel like I was targeted, and I might as well, since the woman who wrote the article has already been identified.
Yes.
I'm not going to necessarily say her name because I won't give that attention. But as you know, this is a woman who, before I think like less than 24 hours after I got the strike on my channel, she emailed me and said that she was writing an article on it and asked me that I want to make a statement. And she stated that she had already had a statement from YouTube, which we both know YouTube generally doesn't give statements when they put strikes on channels.
Right.
So clearly this is something that she facilitated. She's in the article talking about how she targeted my channel, and because she wasn't able to find any recent content that would be deemed as hate speech, she had to go 2 years into the past.
So Cynthia G is saying here, the reason why I'm not on YouTube is because people targeted me. They targeted my message. The haters got upset with what I had to say. And so therefore, they took my video down. Now, let me just tell you how YouTube works for those of you who don't know how it works. If People target your channel, and it's happened to every big time YouTuber. They can report all they want, but if the video doesn't break any violations, it simply won't come down. You will be just reporting, and reporting until you get tired of reporting, but it doesn't mean the video is coming down. What Cynthia G failed to realize is because of her hate speech towards black men and the abortion of black men, that is called hate speech. So no wonder why they started reporting in the first place, because if you were to switch that rhetoric and talk about black women, then your page would definitely come down sooner than later. So instead of taking any kind of responsibility for the kind of vile hate speech she's given, she's blaming others, saying, I was targeted. But let's go to the second issue, in which she's gonna say, well, I uploaded this video 2 years ago and they approved it then, so why is it a question right now?
There isn't a content creator that I know of that's on YouTube that's thinking about a live stream or a video they did 2 years ago. Like,
Yep. Facts.
we not sitting up thinking about that. We're constantly coming with new content, trending topics, whatever. Like, now we know all this dust with Keke Palmer, her bitter baby daddy, and
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, like we be on the next topic. Like, we ain't thinking about something from 2 years ago. And I think that it's just not fair, really, for YouTube as a company to even allow someone to go 2 years into the past and say, well, hey, I have a problem with this video now. Can you remove it? And then the content creator gets a strike on the channel when, just like you said, they approved this for monetization. It went through a human review. They said that it was advertiser friendly, which means that it's not violating the community guidelines. Videos that violate the community guidelines are not advertisable. So if it's advertiser friendly, it doesn't violate the community guidelines. These are videos that shouldn't even be allowed to be reported at the end of the day.
So this argument actually is the best. She does make a very good point. YouTube approved the video 2 years ago, so it shouldn't be a problem if they manually reviewed it. So what's the issue there? That is a great point. The issue is that mistakes happen. Have you ever had something in business that you approved and then something happened and then you go back and try to correct the mistake? Well, yeah, if I own the business and I approve something that's wrong, but I know it's wrong and you bring it to me that it's wrong, well, then let me go and fix it. So YouTube does make mistakes. Well, their argument is, well, they approved it then, why not approve it now? Well, let's talk about slavery. Well, it was true in 1845 in certain states that African Americans were slaves. It was also true in certain places that blacks were considered 2/3 of a man. It was also true in certain places that it was okay to keep your wife in the house and women couldn't vote. But just because it was true then, does it make it true now? I'm pretty sure Cynthia G would not approve of those laws, because the thing is, times change. So if you do something in the past that is okay, that doesn't mean that it can't be rectified. It can't change. And we can go back and say, well, it was okay then, but right now, in this current time, that actually was a mistake. It should have been taken care of even back then, but we just missed it. And because YouTube is their own private company and they can go and do whatever they want, it's up to them to say that, you know what, we made a mistake. So this person actually is punished for uploading the video, meaning that Cynthia G should not have been even talking about that sort of content on this platform. If she wanted to talk about that sort of content, then she should gather her friends around and her family around and do it off camera. And then you can say whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. The problem is you upload that content to YouTube where they have advertisers. And when somebody says, hey, listen, you know, you have people spewing this kind of hate speech on your platform and we don't want to give money to your platform anymore. Well, what are they supposed to do? They're going to get rid of any YouTuber, including Cynthia G, who does that. And Cynthia G doesn't want to take any accountability for the fact that she made a mistake, that she should have kept that sort of rhetoric to herself. There are many things on YouTube that I feel about certain issues and certain people and certain whatever ideologies that it's not my job to come on to YouTube and say it. If I want to say it, I'll say it, you know, to people in person, or I'll keep it to myself. But your problem was you came on the platform to say it. Let's go to the third point here. The third point is this white woman who targeted her was racist. This is my favorite. Let's check it out.
But I do think it's racist for her to be weaponizing that ability, the media, to try and silence a Black woman because of her opinion on Black males in her community. I think that's extremely racist.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And especially when there are people on the platform that are saying things that are 100 times worse than you.
So that white woman she's talking about is Ashley Bellinger. She is the journalist that took Cynthia G down. And the website that she is working with is called Ars Technica. Let me go ahead and tell you what her name is. So she's calling Ashley Bellinger a racist because, you know, she's impending on my opinion of Black men as a Black woman. Well, is that the case when you used to have white men come onto your YouTube platform that called Black men lazy? You used to praise white men who said certain things about Black men that were very vile and we can call racist. But that wasn't racist when white men were doing it to Black men on your platform, was it? Oh no, because it fit the narrative. You see, the issue is Ashley Bellinger came in and said, listen, you are talking about your own people, which is Black men. That's not racism. Cynthia G doesn't know what racism is, but it's okay. We have the dictionary here that can define it. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Okay, so if she is racist, then she is antagonizing you based on the fact that you are Black, that you are African American. That's not what she's doing. She's reporting you on the behalf of African American men who are also marginalized just like you. You have certain rhetoric towards them that is violent or is very vile. That is not racism. Racism means I dislike you because you are Black, or because you look like you're Black, or because you're a part of this ethnic group. It's not because you did something to me, it's because you are part of the ethnic group. But in this case, Ashley Bellinger is not dealing with race. She's dealing with your behavior. And the fact that you are offending the people in your own community, she feels that is wrong. So that is not racism. That just basically means you don't understand what racism is. And you're using all of these failed arguments to prove a point that's really not there. The reason why you and other people who like your content are pretty much in the situation that you're in, you have no ability to be self-aware. And that is why a lot of Black men look at sisters like yourself and then they ponder, how can anybody take this particular lady seriously when she has this sort of logic? And then you go around, you know, talking about Black male unaccountability and things like that, but you can't be accountable for anything that you do wrong, which is exactly why you're in the position that you are in. Now, I know that you could be upset about it, but the truth is the truth, and you can't get away from the truth. And you can try to make light of it if you want, but what we're dealing with here are facts, not fiction. So I will say continue to enjoy your stay away from the YouTube platform since you believe it's so toxic. And I thought that was pretty funny, especially from an individual who all they do is spew out toxic stuff on the platform. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. All right, appreciate you for all you subscribe to the bell. We're out.